Boom, 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 boom. Number 24 on the list is Stanley Kubrick's 1980 masterpiece, The Shining. What can I say that has not already been said about The Shining? White man's burden, Lloyd, my man. White man's burden. This film is probably the best film on the list. It's not my favorite, but it's probably the best executed film. The most work went into it. You can read into it so many different things. There's so many little Easter eggs and hidden meanings and different things going on in this movie. And it's if you really want to read into it, you really want to reach for different meanings, and you want to take an in-depth look at The Shining, there is a documentary called Room 237 that I highly recommend. And wow, these guys go hard. These guys go deep into this film. And some of it sounds kind of ridiculous, but they're like looking at it frame by frame. There's different dissolves where like between scenes when it transitions into the next scene. In the documentary, they're like pausing it and looking at like a ladder that makes the form of an A, and I don't know even remember what that means, but there's like different Masonic. They point out different Masonic symbology, and then there's this whole allegory about how it's like how the whole film is a commentary on the massacre of the Native American people. And like rewatching it again, I actually got to see it at the theater. They re-released it. I guess it's been remastered in 4K. I didn't really see much of it. I don't know. I didn't see much of a difference. Who cares? But I just wanted to be able to see it on the big screen, and I got the opportunity to do that, to see it on the big screen, which was really cool. I noticed a lot more different Native American themes in it, and there's like paintings on the wall, and then there's different designs throughout the Overlook Hotel, and also the whole thing about Stanley Kubrick faking the moon landing, faking the Apollo 11 moon landing. The little boy in the movie has a sweater that says Apollo 11 on it. And there's a scene where Jack Torrance is throwing a tennis ball against the wall. It's like he's just going stir crazy. He's kind of bored in this giant hotel, and he's throwing the ball. And the wall that he's throwing the ball against has this design that looks like rockets. You know, it's a Native American design, but if you look at it, it has they're shaped like rockets, and they're right above the fireplace. Where the fire's going, that would be like the afterburners on, you know, the afterburners on the rocket. I think that's what they're called. But there's all these little things, and there's these things about like the typewriter changes color from one scene to the next, or there's a chair in the background, and we're in the same sequence, but it'll switch. Like it's in the scene where Jack is getting mad at his wife for interrupting his writing, and he's in there typing, and she goes in to check on him, and he gets upset. But in that sequence, there's a chair in the background. It switches to his wife. It switches back to Jack, and the chair's not there. And I don't know the significance of this. You can watch that documentary and see. But it's really interesting. But you get to go on this journey of this man who's... It's like he's deteriorating. His mind is deteriorating, and he's going crazy, but it's almost like he's always been that way, and the Overlook Hotel is like bringing that out of him. it is kind of disturbing to watch. The title, The Shining, actually refers to the gift that Danny has to see things that have happened in the past, or maybe see things that are happening in the future. He has this gift, like a lot of characters, like some characters have been known to have in Stephen King stories. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention at the beginning that this was written by Stephen King, and the novel is slightly different than the film. Stanley Kubrick changed a lot of things, and Stephen King famously didn't like the film when it came out. I don't know how he feels about it now. I mean, it's probably the best adaptation of his work that's ever been done. The most highly regarded by, in my opinion, the greatest director of all time, Stanley Kubrick. Definitely, this is a recommendation on the list. Definitely check it out for sure. If you can watch it in 4K, maybe you can let me know the difference. I really didn't see much difference. It's The Shining, it's still the same. I guess they just remastered. I don't know if they remastered the picture or the sound. I couldn't really notice. It was just fun to see it on the big screen. But yeah, delve into the mind of Jack Torrance as he starts to lose his mind, or starts to find his mind. I think he's just settling into who he always really was in this story. Number 24 on my list of 31 horror films this month, The Shining.